it's me, MADDAWG Forberg. Thank you for coming to watch MADDAWG Strong every Monday here at the Redcon 1 YouTube page. Hey, what's up guys? It's me, MADDAWG Forberg here with the one, the only, Lukey Lou. Today, we're coming at you with some bench pressing. I'm deloading right now. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about what a deload is. But essentially today we're doing a pretty light bench session. But it'll be fun because I'll walk you through the difference between regular benching and competition powerlifting benching. We'll be doing that with Lukey Lou, like I mentioned. It's always fun training with him. He hasn't really trained powerlifting style before. He's been doing it recently and it's a lot of fun. It's always a learning experience. And we'll make some muscles. We'll make some chest muscles afterwards with some accessories like dumbbell flies, some back stuff, just general pump stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you Boynton Barbell Center for having us. So one of the main things about powerlifting in different federations is whether you can have your feet on or have your feet flat, or have your feet like on your toes. And one of the things you'll find with a lot of people that use or compete in federations where you have to have your feet flat is Olympic lifter shoes. These shoes have a bit of a heel. Some people use these for squatting as well as benching. Not as many people use these for deadlifts, but with squatting there's an advantage using like hip mobility and depth and things like that. And for bench, it helps with leg drive, because in the bench press, in powerlifting, we incorporate a lot of leg drive. There's also an arch that you'll see. Some people are really extreme with their arch, and some people are pretty flat on the bench. It's all personal preference. In the sport of powerlifting, it isn't cheating to have an arch, and there's no like regulations other than the bottom of your butt needs to remain on the bench throughout the press. So a lot of people will have an arch. You'll see it with mine. What an arch does is it obviously decreases the range of motion, so the distance traveled is less, which a lot of people outside of powerlifting will call it cheating. It's not cheating for us. People will say like, well, just lift the weights, and that's what we're doing. So using an arch also helps you, obviously by decreasing the amount traveled from here to your chest, you can lift more weights because there's less of a distance. So that's one reason why people arch their backs, and people also do it to protect the spine, because laying flat, your spine isn't flat, it's curved, and kind of protecting it with an arch helps a lot in the bench press. So what I usually do during my warm-ups is I'll do like a set with my feet on the bench. I'll then do a set where I work up to my arch, just because my lower back will tend to like cramp if I don't really warm up. You'll see Lukey Lou walking around here. He does a very extensive warm-up, and I don't because I'm irresponsible. So a lot of people have pretty different setups when it comes to the bench press, whether they lay just right on it and put their hands on the bar, they come in from the other side, whatever. For me, and what I teach a lot of my clients, is to put your feet on the bench and use like that leverage to dig your upper back in, because you want to be on top of your traps as much as possible. Then you'll see me put my hands on the side of the bench, and that's to just help tuck my shoulder blades in. And another cue that I use a lot during the bench press is to stay high and tight, and that means really grinding your lats in, because there's a difference between having your arm tucked and really engaging your lats. So that's using the bar to like twist it like you're gonna bend the bar, engaging your lats, and bringing your chest up. When you're benching in at least the powerlifting world, we want to press to the highest point of your chest, whether that's with the arch or how you finagle your grip, whatever, but that's always the best. Girls with their nails done. So, as we know, Luke used to play rugby, and his training was a lot different then than it is now. From my understanding, you guys were just kind of like, there wasn't much like technique, form.
Yeah, it's more obviously like the powerlifting aspects, the lifts were involved, but it wasn't really as diligent as we're doing right now. So yeah, I had a long break from that. Obviously, moving away from rugby, I had a lot of injuries, so totally took myself away from high intensity, high load training. Went more towards, like my brother did, like bodybuilding exercises. So it's more like hypertrophy training. And then I was feeling like I needed to get back into more strength training. So started training with Maddie, run a couple of programs, but then we took our time, really, didn't we?
Yeah.
We took our time.
Well, it's taken a long time for Luke to break habits that he had before, because when you're in the gym, you create your own patterns of just how you get the weight up, and like what you do, what momentum you use, like, and it's really hard to like get out of those patterns. So it's a slow process, and Luke's done phenomenal with it, because Luke is very intelligent and knows what he's doing, but it's hard to like know what you're doing and also like put it into practice, like learning how to use your body in that way. So we had ran a program together, and I was kind of like just looking at his lifts in video because we were long distance for a long time.
Yeah.
But now we're training together, and it's been great because we can see what each other's doing. Yeah, but I mean, what do you feel is different specifically with bench for you now?
So initially I had a lot of shoulder issues playing rugby. Coming out of that, I had a lot of shoulder issues. So just taking my time, going through the process of learning the technique, starting slow, don't lift with my ego, starting from low intensity and high volume, and then gradually, slowly, progressively overloading to where we are now. Obviously it's a deload session, so it doesn't look like we're lifting a lot of weight right now, but
it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
like
I think it's just
technique
moving.
Is gorgeous now.
Yeah, just the movement patterns, and something like doing this a long time ago when I just finished playing rugby, or more so when I was still playing rugby, this would hurt. Like, this wouldn't feel great. A lot of grinding in the motion. But I feel like now, just slowly overloading and then deloading like this, so it's healthy. It's done in the right manner. Slowly progressing. I feel like not only my strength, but more so the efficiency of the actual lift has drastically increased.
Nails done. I like the girls with their nails done.
So in regard to the deload, so essentially what's happening is throughout the program the intensity is increasing while simultaneously the volume is decreasing. So obviously you're going to be accumulating a lot of fatigue, so central nervous fatigue as well as muscular fatigue, and rather than ramping up the intensity and lowering the volume every single week, and then Maddie comes into the gym tired, lethargic every session, what's happening now in the deload week is the intensity's decreased and the volume slightly decreased as well. Also, as you'll see, the accessories are still involved in the session as well. So the muscles that aren't primarily involved in the bench, the deadlift and the squat, so the muscles are directly working. These muscles are being worked directly with our accessory work. So when you look at our bench, it's not as intense or as high a weight as Maddie can actually lift. So the deload is to just actively recover within this week before then ramping up the intensity again for the next following weeks. The next following weeks to go into the meet.
Yeah. While also keeping it at like a decent weight. It's not just like weight that you can throw around like in your sleep. It's still a moderate amount of weight, so that you can still continue to work technique. But yeah, like Luke said, the volume and intensity is a bit down this week. And it also is really good because around this time period, Maddies get real sad and tired. So it's always an appropriately programmed deload.
Yeah. Happy Luke.
Happy Luke.
Girls with the
So as we spoke about earlier about the importance of the accessory work, so in terms of what Maddy's doing in the bench press, the squat and the deadlift, the accessory work is working the muscles that aren't directly working in those movements. They're now getting their direct work in these movements here. So as you can see, a lateral raise, essentially that's not really working within the bench press, so it's indirectly working, but in this movement it's getting some direct work. So in terms of not only strength but muscle growth, this is going to benefit her going into the meet as well.
Alright guys, that was a quick deload bench session with some accessories with the one and only Lukey Lou, MADDAWG Forberg. Thank you for watching the MADDAWG Strong on Mondays. As always, thank you to Boynton Barbell Center, thank you to Redcon1, and don't forget to use code MADDAWG20 on Redcon1 products when you buy. Thank you, Luke, for hanging out with us. Thank you, Johnny. And yeah, so if you ever have any questions about bench, feel free to message one of us. We love benching. We love making big ol' bench muscles. Thanks, guys.